super nice guy, Julian. We saw him there getting a little bite. He explained that he was a little nervous, and fair to be.
Yeah, he might be the
Max
most
Lechner wins
nervous
the
man
leg.
in the room, JJ.
Yeah, absolutely.
First rack, Max Lechner to break.
So a little bit like the first match, players are trying to put the one ball into the side pocket.
Just like the first
Foul
match,
shots.
an opening scratch with the one not going down,
Ball
another ball.
down.
Thought the break, we had a bit of a long one there in our opener. But I thought the break is what slowed the match
Please
down
stop
the
the
most.
clock.
There was a lot of tactical play, some dry breaks, even situations where the players got ball in hand and really couldn't run out.
Yeah, I think the big thing after the break, it was just the fact that no one had an open pot on the lowest ball, but I think Phil has done a fantastic job of turning that match around. He could have easily been beat there from the way he started. He said in his interview with Michael McMullen that he couldn't find the pocket, but he missed a couple of long ones early on. They're not gimmies. I know we're used to seeing Josh pot every ball.
Oh, I think it was that first shot. And he got ball in hand, got over a ball, made the three very difficult, and then from there it was a lot of tactical. But how well did he kick at the ball in that match? I think he kicked in 3 or 4, 2 in the first game.
Extension called.
Yeah, the man at the table, Albin Ouschan, he excels in that department as well, the kicking and the safeties. Very good on this type of equipment, isn't he, JJ Albin? When everything's brand new, the balls, the cloth, everything.
I talk about techniques that kind of hold up on all equipments and all conditions, and I think Albin's definitely someone that falls in that class. I'll tell you, it never hurts to get ball in hand, right? First rack. Get to make a few settled shots with no worries. Interesting, he's jacking up here. I thought he may be able to go forward 2 rails, coming around the 8. It's good speed there.
Yeah, he's done so much in the game of Nineball, and you can see on his stats, quarterfinals is the furthest he's been, and you might be thinking that's a good result, but it's actually only means you've won 1 match, doesn't it? Because there's only 16 players in it.
And that means he's definitely suffered some early losses as well. Looking to play a 7-9 kiss shot here later in the rack. Don't know if he got by the 6 or not. Interesting to end up short there. Maybe it was more about the line on the cue ball that he was worried about. Just going to tuck him behind the 8. Keep it simple. Max has got to feel good to get back to the table after surrendering ball in hand.
What do you see in this position here, JJ? What do you think Max is trying to do?
I think it's just a 2-rail kick off the short rail, the top rail, coming down the long side rail. He'll try and make it, of course, off of 2 cushions. Why wouldn't you? But the speed is to kind of carry the cue ball down to this bottom cushion where he's standing after contact on the 6. So you notice he didn't hit it very hard. Maybe expected a little thinner hit on the 6. Actually has dressed this up pretty nice for Albin. Max talked about changing cues at the beginning of the year. We've had a few players in that position, and he's had some time, so he's not going to worry about his equipment too much. Always talk about Max. He wanted to clip the 9 there as he went by, but always talk about Max getting to these stages of the final 16, final 8, and of course, a runner-up at the U.S. Open. But we expect him to, break through. It's almost like the game of Nineball. If you keep getting there, it's going to allow you to break through, but he's playing with the best in the world.
Yeah, winning breeds confidence, doesn't it? Really does.
Yeah, and this is that side of the game you were talking about from Albin. And, you know, we could have, you know, taken someone maybe from your local club to play that safety, but to get more out of the cue ball, like freezing it to the 9, not allowing that easy one rail kick by the 8, those little extras mean something.
Extension called.
1 extension per player per rack.
This is all speed. If he overhits it, it won't take the bend. Yeah, nice speed. He actually bent it too much.
Foul shot.
Well, if you'd have missed the ball, JJ, I thought he
Ball
would
in
have missed it on the other side. To find this little rail
Please
here
start the
and
clock.
miss the 7, that will shock Max just like it shocked us.
Yeah, and that's solely the slick table.
But how many times have we seen Albin Ouschan get ball in hand or an opportunity off a safety shot that he's played? He's played 2 great safeties in the opening rack here.
Albin
That's the
Ouschan
safety
wins
shot.
the rack.
Has helped Albin win the opening rack here. What is it you see in Albin's game, Jeremy, that, you know, has helped him become such a decorated pool player?
Well, I mean, effortless work. I mean, you know, just keeping at it at all times. Just like his interview, really. And he's one that'll acknowledge he's had his ups and downs in 2023 and a little bit early in 2024. So, you know, he's not one that's going to blame the rolls or anything like that, or one excuse or another. So that tells you he's back in the practice room working at all times. And I think mentally, you know, he used to be a guy that used to be very negative. So I think as much as anything, recognizing your issues and dealing with them and getting through them. You know, the game's tough enough as it is, but if you have extras lingering, then you really have problems.
Yeah, when Albin first come on the scene as a young junior player, teenager, he was a very angry player. You know, the cue would go, the chalk would go. I played him once in a Euro Tour event, and I thought, who's this maniac? He was acting very angry. I think the cue went through the wall at some point. I was like, wow, this kid's mental, but he's worked on that. I know Roger Federer used to be like that when he used to play tennis. You know, he used to smash the racket and sort of smash the tennis balls out of arenas, and just look how calm
Rack 2.
Roger Federer was
Albin
on the
Ouschan's
latter
break,
stages
leading 1 rack to 0.
of his career. Breaking from the left side of the square.
Getting 2 balls down near the 2, so should be some type of controlled shot. The 2 may play by the 3. I think it does. Can he roll it, or does he have to elevate a bit to hold the cue ball for the red 3? Okay, a little elevation. Really good stuff there. Somewhat like Fuller's 2 ball in the first match. Never touched the rail. Looks like if he lets the stroke out a little bit, should get to the side rail before the middle side pocket.
Cue ball just kept rolling there. He felt it was going to fall a little shorter. Got a bit of an angle though, so should still be okay.
Looks like he may be able to just lightly play this. May go 2 rails back and forth.
Albin Ouschan wins the rack.
The early signs for Max Lechner are not great. He's desperate to win one of these big titles. He's yet to do it. The fantastic run, the US Open, the year he lost to Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. He actually played a good final, didn't he, that US Open final, JJ?
Yeah, and especially, I mean, you could tell, of course, as anyone would be big time nervous against a guy that was really winning all events at the time. Our reigning world Nineball champion, FSR. You'll see him tomorrow in action.
'22 European Open champion Albin Ouschan, 2-time world Nineball champion, also lost in a final to Shane Van Bonen when Shane finally won that world title. And the China Open as well, International Open, World Cup of Pool twice with his partner Mario He. Mario He is the 3rd Austrian player that qualified for the World Pool Masters. He's a 6-time Mosconi Cup champion, so you can see Albin Ouschan has got a lot of silverware.
Rack 3, Albin Ouschan to break, leading by 2 racks to 0.
Didn't look a great break, meaning the split, the balls didn't seem to split, but he made the one. Cue ball got kicked, stayed down the bottom end of the table, but for Albin Ouschan it's fine, because look at the shot he's got on the blue too.
Yeah, you can't ask for more than that, and I agree with you. It just looked like the timing was off a little bit compared to the first one. But again, he'll take this no matter how he hits him. He's really dressed up nicely. I mean, the 5 to the 6, a little work from the 7 to the 8 to the 9, but overall it was like a ball and hand shot there on the 2. You got to take it while you get it, because this can change easily. Max is a guy that breaks the balls really well. Of course, we remember last year at the World Pool Masters, what did he make? 3 golden breaks, 1 match, I believe.
Yeah, these things happen in a game of Nineball. Sometimes you feel like you just sat in your chair as a spectator. These are the things you have to fade.
Maybe a little more of a roll of cue ball than he wanted there, but I think when Albin plays his best, of course, he's one that wants proper position and as good as it can get, but he just doesn't worry about those little things. I think all of us get a little better, including him.
Extension called.
Looks like he may go to the top rail with the cue ball. I think if there's a choice between rolling it and the top rail, I mean, most would consider a little more speed. Now he's looking to draw the cue ball, so maybe just floats towards the 7.
Well, the 6 went in off the jaw.
Yeah, just that little overroll from the 5 to the 6 just made things a little more work. Of course, a good shot on the 7, but no angle. So he's got to draw the cue ball back in position. I think your first real draw stroke of any of these first matches can be the one that's a little nervy and a little heady, just because the cue ball can draw pretty easy at times. And even Filler, we saw in the first match, that draw stroke, he missed that, what was it, the 5 ball up in the corner by some piece, trying to draw out for the 7. So far, firing on all cylinders, Mr. Ouschan.
Albin Ouschan.
Well, at the start of this match, before Albin Ouschan walked out, he was called the smooth operator, and this has been a very smooth start as he takes the opening 3 here in the Battle of the Buddies.
Rack
That's the
4,
action.
Albin Ouschan to break, leading by 3 racks to 0.
Yep, you heard it right. The referee just said Albin Ouschan 3, Max Lechner 0. But Max Lechner has been a spectator, really. He's kicked at a couple of balls. It's all been Albin Ouschan so far.
Yeah, the one on the side, and any time that blue 2's coming to a very clear end of the table, you got to like it. There's some work here, though. But, yeah, that scratch on the break from Lechner to start. His best chance after 2 failed kick shots. Should just stun one rail. Kind of float into position here.
That's come around okay.
Like kind of getting straight here maybe and drawing off the 5 to get back to the green 6. Got to play the pink 4, of course. But just don't really see an angle on the 5 I like that much. So he may use 2 cushions to get kind of straight on the purple 5.
Yeah, that looks pretty tidy. Can maybe pull it back off the rail with a bit of right hand spin.
Yeah, he can play the 7 up long, so I don't think I flirt with too much angle here on the 6.
Called.
Go ahead and draw the cue ball on down.
Where's the cue ball going here when he goes forward?
I think it fell a little awkward where he can't really apply some right spin to go underneath the 9. I think he's got to kind of go one rail at the 7 here between the 8 and 9.
Nicely done. Nicely done indeed to find that little gap. This is just a walk in the park so far for Albin Ouschan. Everything's going his way as he takes rack number 4. At what point in a race to 9, JJ, does Lechner start to worry?
I think he's a little worried at the moment just because, you know, there's all kinds of 4-0s. The 4-0 he's facing right now is not a good one because, you know, just like Filler, who improved his tactical game so much, I think Albin's improved his break incredibly over the last year, and he looks very solid after the break as well. So it's not going to be any you know, gifts given back to Max. He's going to maybe have to bury a big shot to start trying to get some things going.
Yeah, I also think it's not just about this match, it's about the rest of it. And just look at how many zeros are on the side of Lechner. This is why the scoreline is 4-0, and it's 36 balls potted for Mr. Ouschan and 0 for Lechner. As JJ said, all he's really done is kick a couple of balls, broke in the opening rack and scratched, and that's really been the story of the match so far. Yeah, we're just saying, JJ, I think, like, if, you know, I'm not saying Max is going to give up, I don't mean that, but if he can dig in and somehow try and win this match in a close thriller, because that's what he's going to have to do now at 4 down, he's going to have to win a lot of racks. It can really sort of tee you up, can't it, for the remainder of this event. It could give him the belief, the fact that he's come back in a match.
Yeah,
he's one of the best.
Leading by
To try and go on and win this title. A big title. A title that he's desperate to win. But he's got to get to the table.
Looked a little thin on the one maybe, but you know, the other half of that coin is, you know, Albin Ouschan, who's struggled of late, ups and downs, as he says, and has never gotten past the quarters here at the Whirlpool Masters. So look at this opening match do for him as well. But this is what happens when you're down 4-0. Your opponent finally breaks dry and you don't really have an offensive shot, but you got to look at it in a positive manner. You got a chance to get control a little bit. I don't see anything really easy here, though. Kind of queuing awkwardly off the side cushion. Is he kicking behind this to put the 1 behind the 7, maybe? Going behind the 4 with the cue ball? Really nice. Heady play.
Yeah, the kick safe there, played on the money there.
Yeah, and you might ask, why didn't he just play into the 1 to go behind the 4? But he couldn't get the 1 that far down table, playing directly at the 1, where the kick shot offered more speed on the 1. But this is, again, another part of the game that Albin's one of the best.
Extension called.
It's kind of a long-term investment kind of thing, but kicking at the ball wisely. I think he slow rolls this. There's so much traffic down here, and the 2 to the 3 is a little awkward. It's definitely not soul rolling it if he's jacking up.
Oh, fabulous hit. He felt he had to jack up because he was going near the middle. Just look at that. What is Max Lechner thinking now?
I'm wondering what Albin's thinking, because I don't know if you noticed when he was walking around, he kind of looked over at Max and smiled a bit. Kind of like a couple of friends on the golf course. One's out of play, the other one chips in. It's to bump the 7. So often you'll see that two players, when they're snookered, carry 2 cues to the table. It's got to go offensive here, trying to bank this in.
Extension called.
Got to get the cue ball up in the air quick as well. It's on a massive gap.
No, I was thinking the same, and he looked like he reached to take the extra extension off. They'll do that when they're closer to the ball, take some weight off the cue. I don't think a big underdog to bury this bank.
Needs a little bit of help here. Suppose he's landed on the wrong side of the 2 ball to get on the red 3.
Yeah, we might see a nice one with the cue ball here. I think there's a path between the 7-9 to go around the 4 and maybe get by the 8. It's pretty touchy, but I think it's there. It's all about the speed to let the 3rd rail really open up and not catch the 8. I think the first part of the shot's not that hard.
Somebody licked it in the ground, didn't they?
Get a little flat here. It's going to make the 5 a little tricky unless he wants to do more on the pink 4, maybe a high ball, a little left spin to get out to the middle of the table. That would be ideal.
Yep, here comes the cue ball. That's nice.
Looks like he's a hair off angle here. Does he have to go forward? This is an awkward shot on the slick table. Easy to overcut, believe it or not, with the inside spin. I don't know. Sometimes I mean draw the cue ball all the way back to the short rail and back down. That's always a tricky shot to me, especially when there's a little obstacles in the way for the cue ball. You use the 9 here to slow the cue ball down, maybe? I think you almost have to.
Wonderfully judged. As JJ said, it's a lot thinner than previous angle looked.
And it's easy to feel good and look good when you're up 4-0 and at the table again. But one thing I like is even when Albin wins games, he kind of picks himself apart at times. Like, oh, if he's a little off position, he'll kind of be a little negative behind it, but it's been all class so
Albin
far.
Ouschan wins the rack.
Yeah, what has Max Lechner got to do? He played a wonderful safety in that rack. That kick shot where the cue ball come over towards the pink 4. Albin kicked the 1 in and then he had control ever since. It's funny how 2 matches can be so different. We've just seen Filler and Kaci where players had plenty of table time. The match, Kaci was 4-1 up in that match. Filler ended up coming back strong. This was the kick shot from Albin Ouschan. Didn't get a shot on the 2 ball, but potting the 1 ball, well, that made him stay at the table to play a safety shot on that 2 ball. Yeah, he was acknowledging the shot, but I think deep down he hated it, JJ, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if anyone else besides Albin or Mario would have gotten that knee clap, but yeah, I mean, looking at that last match, I think Max knows he can certainly come back from any scoreline, but just facing an Albin Ouschan that hasn't made but one mistake. I think it was a dry break in the last, and that's it.
What do you think it is, JJ, where we've got these players at the minute, haven't we? We've got the players who've won the big titles. You know, Albin, two-time champ, world Nineball champ, that is. You know, we've told you all that. Why is it, do you think, certain players that are on the fringe trying to break through? I always feel like these things kind of happen to them.
Yeah, I think more often than not. I think, yeah, look at that, 87% consuming the time at the table for Albin Ouschan. And oh, there's that dry 2-ball up there by the cue ball. I don't think you're going to have many problems. That's the case. 3 near a difficult 4-8 maybe. All kinds of ways to get open. That 3-4-8, even if you do need to open it. 4 may pass in the lower left if you're looking at your screen now. It's just got the perfect angle to draw one rail with a lot of control. Like I said, other than straight in on the 3, he will be able to open the 4-8. And I'm not sure, to answer your question. I watch a lot of other sports and it seems the same. You know, if you don't, you know, individual sports are different team, I think, because the dynamic of a team. But, you know, you see so many teams, if they don't take advantage when that window is open, it seems like it stays shut for some time. And, you know, I think that's a bit of the same sense in individual sports, especially for the ones that are on the cusp. He's going to be okay. It's a little light, but he should still be able to get into the edge of the 8.
I think the good thing in the modern era of pool, Jeremy, is the fact that, you know, Matchroom Sport are, you know, investing in Nineball, and there's a lot more events on the calendar. You know, 10 years ago, if you ended up losing a match like this in the Masters, you might not play another big major for 3 or 4 months.
No, that's 100% correct. I mean, I was fortunate that I did pretty well, and I was able to have a sponsor, you know, a decent paying sponsor and whatnot. And we always talked about it back in the day, you know, the players that do have those sponsorship deals or better ones and whatnot, they have a huge advantage because these tournaments are a lot of pressure back in the day when there wasn't so many. At least now, if you're in form, you can feel good, you know, waiting a couple weeks to play another huge event, especially now the season's really getting started.
Yeah, and also storylines, you know, everyone's seen what the world number 1 has done. He's still the world number 1. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. He was kind of not late to the party as in winning tournaments, but it was around late 20s, 30-ish.
Yeah, I mean, he was, what, 8-9 years of, you know, the top pool we have in the world, and always around another great player and super talented player, but it just sometimes it eludes people. Very few come out like Filler and Federgorst and whatnot and win huge titles at such a young age. Made a real nice shot there with a bunch of side spin. Easy to get the speed wrong.
Yeah, and if you get the speed wrong, you're left with a bit of a strange shot on the green 6, aren't you? So all looks plain sailing, but you still got to run the table out. Perfect view, the way Albin Ouschan cues right down his left eye.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Both of me and him both very left eye dominant. Kind of cups the cue in the back, Trying to get that cue stick a little more under the left eye.
Albin Ouschan
But it
wins the
works,
round.
and it's working well in this match because Albin Ouschan has won the opening 6. It's 6-0. Well, before the break, we've seen Albin Ouschan gliding round the table. 80% break and run. Look at the zeros still there on Lechner's side. He's only missed the one pot, but let's be honest, Jeremy, he's not had much table time.
No, not at all. And the scratch on the break to start.
Albin Ouschan to break, leading by 6 racks to 0.
Start this match may have told the story, but there's still some left. 6-0 is all.
Yeah, and you could see on the graphic, balls potted, it was 54-0.
Well, it isn't going to be the shot that he's been getting, the offensive shot. There is one there. It's quite difficult. You got to believe he's going to play the safety behind the blue 2, kind of banging the 1 back down table. 8's kind of hanging over the side, though. We saw Kaci go for 1 to try and get himself in the match or out of a bad spot. Fluked the 4-ball in the corner, I believe it was, after rattling several balls. Tempting with the 8 there, though.
Possible get the hook near the 2-ball as well if he plays it with left spin. Safety, can he bank it back up, JJ, with a little bit of left?
Yeah, that's the shot I kind of initially saw. And that's definitely the shot that he would play if the 8 wasn't hanging. He may play the long rail bank if the 8 wasn't there, but I think the 8's kind of teasing him a bit.
Extension called.
He's so good at this type of safety, though, so maybe it's close to a double kiss, trying to bank the 1 back down and kill the cue ball behind the 2. We'll know pretty quickly. Kind of elevates the cue a little bit, hitting down on the cue ball, probably going after the 8 in the lower middle pocket.
Yeah, he played your shot, Jeremy. Kind of thought of 2 possible outcomes. Make the 8 or bank the 1.
Yeah, and also very witty with the cue ball, knowing that he couldn't predict the 1 totally, so he was going to make it as tough on his
Extension
buddy
called.
Max as he could, especially Max hasn't had much time at the table.
Yeah, how difficult are these shots? I mean, it is near the rail, let's be honest, but the distance is queuing off the rail as well. Well, it looked a little wide, but I'm sure we can all agree we're happy to see Max pot a ball.
Yeah, he wasn't so convinced when he let it go, but another one here he's just got to pay attention to. Doesn't have to work the cue ball a whole lot. That helps. And I don't know if he has a pocket. Besides something thin.
Yeah, he wanted to stop the cue ball, didn't he, and then play the red in the left centre.
Well, those shots from distance trying to come back just a couple inches, that's why I thought it wasn't a complete hanger, especially with very limited time at the table during this match. Another one, blind pocket, they call it.
Strange, isn't it, JJ? I always used to think this. I've not had much table time. I've not had many shots, and then when I get my opportunity, it could have been 4-0 or 6-0. Just nothing seems to go right. You don't get the cue ball. You're not hitting the cue ball how you want.
Well, every little thing as well. I mean, hadn't gotten the flow of the clock yet. You certainly don't want to be down on that ball with, you know, the beeps ringing, especially with not much time at the table. So wanted a little more angle here, but so good with the top spin shot. Coming 2 rails at the purple 5. Could just stun. And he's going to hit downward. This is where Albin's so good. Don't try to get all of it. You can handle a little angle on the 5.
That's ideal.
Yeah, 60 balls to 2 as far as total pots, and it's about to go up as well.
Albin Ouschan wins the round.
Well, he's won the opening 7. Who would have thought this would have been the scoreline? Especially after the first match. This is the second match of the evening that we're watching. The third match coming up will be Jason Shaw. Jason's just getting loose. He's actually been on the practice table a long time. And in the distance, you can see Lucius Yap from Singapore. Both left-handed players, both fearless potters. I'm sure that is going to be a cracker.
Yeah, I think Jason, Kaci there in the background. I think Jason's one of the best breakers as well in this format. Something I think that Yap has improved on quite a bit as well. Max trying to stay positive, but he knows that was a chance there to probably get back in this match. Now 7-0 and Albin breaking.
Yeah, I'm sure Albin's thinking just get the 9-0, get the donut, and then I've got some bragging rights for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Did you like that? My favorite moment of the Whirlpool Masters earlier?
Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to come, JJ, to be honest. That's why I tried to get it out you today. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah. Of course, you can't overlook the Whirlpool Masters. You can't overlook any World Nineball Tour events, but got to believe, of course, when the adrenaline gets going, these players are here for that match, that ball in front of them. But got to believe all the practice time going in for these players, they think of the World Championships maybe every day. That one coming up with a $1 million prize, or $1 million prize fund, excuse me.
Yeah, 250,000 US dollars for the winner of this year's World Nineball Championships.
Well, if you're an American or European,
Albin Ouschan to break, leading by 7 racks to 0.
It really secures your spot on the Mosconi Cup, that's for sure, along with some other events. As it should.
Yeah, and of course, we do have the first ever Reyes coming up.
Cue ball.
Later on this year.
Again, when they're not going your way, you have to grind out that first win. Let's talk about the first game and the last. Hardest to get on your side, and it's been a pretty difficult run so far here for Max Lechner. Again, not too in love with much here to start. I'd like to see how he plays this. Is he going to cue downward, trying to pull the ball towards the 3? The cue ball is the one goes by the 5. Yeah, it's the only shot I really saw, and how'd he do?
Good luck hitting this ball, Albin. You're good, but sure you're not this good.
Yeah, the line of the cue ball, Max's. There's got that priceless smile from Mad Max. There's all kinds of Mads. I don't know if he's the state of mind he likes the most right now. But I'll tell you, this hit, the way the line on the cue ball is, I don't know if he has to spin this much. If he has to spin a lot, he may not be able to hit it hard enough to get a rail after contact, if he contacts the one. Now, if he can just go at it without a whole lot of side, I think he's got a chance. I wonder if he bumps something into maybe an early combination on the 9, maybe. He does foul.
Foul shots.
Wow, that was close. That was really close. What an effort there. But it's ball in hand
Please start the clock.
for Max Lechner, and this is why just look at the cue ball welded behind the red 3.
And I think he's looking at a quick win here on the 1-9. Not that difficult a combo, but you really haven't pocketed many balls. They're certainly missable, but you can't blame him with the 4-6, the way it lays, the 3 back down table. He's going to shoot this with a little speed. Not a whole lot, but a little speed.
Well, is this the first rack for Mad Max? It is. He's off the board.
Max Lechner wins the rack.
Every comeback starts somewhere. There's the overhead view. Not going clean. But he'll be delighted to see the back of the 9-ball. It's never easy, is it, JJ? It's not nice when you're in this position in a big major tournament. There's a nice highlight reel shot there, safety.
Yeah, and he's only had one break, the opening break. He had a scratch. I don't think he actually pocketed a ball on that break either, so he's maybe got a lot going through the head. He's got to try and clear it the best he can and just start with the break shot.
Well, his winner breaks. So he's 7-1 down. What's a realistic goal here, JJ? Like a 3-4 pack?
You know, if he could get it 8-5, somewhere around there. I mean, that's striking distance in a winter break format. That's a striking distance in any format, really. But I mean, he's obviously, you know, we all believe once our player's not on the, still needs 2 games away from winning. We're still pretty confident we can pull off, even if it's a big miracle like this one. Might go to Miracle Max instead of Mad Max if he pulls this one off.
Rack 9, Max Lechner to break, trailing by 7 racks to 1.
Where's this 2-ball going to finish? He needs it to slow down.
I think it's perfect, really. It gives him a little angle on the 2 to where he maybe doesn't have to play a 4 or 5 combination. He can drop maybe short side on the pink. I was curious if he may change sides, just seeing Albin have some success from the left, but Albin missed the 1 a few times. I think he's got to force this 1 rail into the purple, right? I mean, would you settle for the combination here with this nice angle, Carl? I think I got to try and produce position.
Well, I was terrible at combos, so I don't know what I'll be doing at the minute. Well, that is absolutely plumb.
Yeah, we'll see. I may avoid the short pocket on the 6 with the 5 so handy to slide over on the short side on the 6, but really has all the choices.
Gonna get past the 8-ball, which he's done. Again, it's pretty good.
Got that little bit of an awkward angle here, queuing over the 8 as well. He's got to kind of force the stun if he plays 2 cushions. Could come 1 cushion. Looks like that's the choice, 1 cushion. Just got to make sure he doesn't hit the pocket kind of crudely. Well, he doesn't lose the cue ball wide. Should be okay. The tendency on the miss is to hit this a hair thick into the long rail.
He's missed the 8-ball. I was just about to say I'm loving this camera angle of the table. Here's a look from behind the pocket. At that pace, they're just not going to go.
Yeah, surprised by the miss. Did actually overcut it a bit.
Extension.
I was going to say, with a nice break and run here, going to the ad break. Time to maybe regroup even more at 7-2, but now the ad break looks not so nice.
Albin's aiming low, but thought he could maybe go long rail first. So the cue ball could get away from him here.
Yeah, I think he's trying to come 2 cushions where he's at now. He let up on it just a little. So he's going to have a little more angle, a little more distance. You'll see that these are not ones you can overlook.
Yeah, but I'm with you, JJ. If like they could have just won the rack there and gone into the break, you just never know. But it's that 9-ball for Albin Ouschan that puts him on the hill as he leads Max Lechner 8 racks to 1. Well, if we was going to see a memorable Masters comeback, this 8-ball just had to go. Max Lechner was 7-1 down, and it was this shot was helped Albin Ouschan get to the hill first. It's not gone his way this match, but that's not going to help.
Rack 10, Albin Ouschan to break, leading by 8 racks to 1 on the hill.
Looks like he's got a shot at the blue too.
Yeah, he's made 2 on the break. Kissed the ball in the lower corner, the one banking 1 rail in the opposite corner. He's got options on the 2 to get on the 3 for with a difficult 5. So may stop the cue ball there, take a little angle on the 3 to play it down in the lower right and come across for the 5 in the same pocket. Could draw back maybe to get that angle. I like just kind of holding there though. Yeah, just where he's looking.
Nice shot. distance just to draw the cue ball back a little bit. Never be easy.
Yeah, the 6 not being over a pocket, but it is open. You'll want to stay off the rail here. Coming across for the purple 5. Can handle a little distance on the 6. Maybe opens up the 8 and 9 when he plays the 5. We'll see. That's going to get near the cushion. This is the one you want to stay away from. May end up being okay where he can rub the 9, open the 8, and fall between the 9 and 7 for a long shot on the 6. We'll see.
So it's this long shot on the green 6 ball, which may well put the end to Lechner's campaign.
Yeah, and considering falling on the rail on the purple 5,
Extension call.
it worked out nicely. I mean, if he went by the 9 and didn't open that up, things could get very difficult to get the entire out.
He knew as soon as he hit the cue ball, he wasn't going to land straight on his intended pocket for the 7, but you can still play this in the corner.
I think I gotta go easy here. We'll see, but he's got to just float this in. Can he go back and forth, beating the side with a little right check? He's gonna go past the side, so a little bit of an opening.
Usually so reliable with his cue ball control, so the fact that he didn't get good on the 7 is why he's just missed that ball. I'm sure Max is thinking, why now? Why when there's 3 balls left, 8-1 down?
Extension called.
Well, it's still a little thin as well, so he's gonna probably carry an angle on the 8. They have to go into the 9. Going short side here. Banked it. Nice shot.
Cue ball's going to be running into the 9 ball. He's going to be left with a tester, JJ.
Yeah, big time. And I was a little surprised because he had to know he was going to hit the 9 very thick and the cue ball wasn't going to move much. I thought if he was going to put speed, it would be more of a high ball. That way the cue ball's coming up table off the 9. Yeah, this is nothing easy at all.
Well, he's done well there, potting the 9. It was not an easy 9. It'd be very easy to miss that ball and check your opponent's hand the way this match has gone, but he's still
taking down the open
11,
event
Max Lechner to break,
against
trailing
Beisterbosch.
by 8 racks to 2.
Tell you one good thing, though, he broke the balls really nice in his last.
That's not ideal when you need to win racks, because he could do with winning some quick racks.
Yeah, and we talked about Albin just being the complete player, especially, you know, having the mental game a little more intact, and the break has gotten better. But if you have to push out against Albin Ouschan a few times, you're going to take the worst of it, that's for sure. Tell you what, I mean, would you push out over to the lower left corner, maybe leaving a 2-9, kind of kick at the 2-9 a little bit with a high ball? Or are you just going to push out to the jump, maybe? It's just going to challenge him. Yeah, you can't leave him with a cue ball, though. That double kiss is going to hurt.
Yeah, trying to get the cue ball on the rail. But this looks like he can just pop the ball and go forward.
Yeah, this is a shot he excels at, and he knows he doesn't have to get a whole lot out of the cue ball. As long as he comes 2 rails somewhere near the spot, that'll do. The 7 one there, he can really hit down on the ball pretty easily and get position. Well, he is hitting down on it. Played the top English. What a shot.
Yeah, and you've just seen why the push out in Nineball is a crucial part of the game. You know, Albin didn't even think twice about giving it back. Max rolled the cue ball where it was. Albin knew this shot was on what he's played.
And something you rarely see on the push out, because execution is normally not a big deal, really. So it was a mistake getting the double kiss on the purple 5, something you just don't see very often.
Extension ball.
Gonna go around the purple 5 here, 3 cushions. Could kill the cue ball with a drag stroke. Really good at that one as well. On the slick table, one of my least favorite shots. The top inside spin from a little bit of an angle, from a little bit of distance.
Looks a good effort, but we know where the cue ball's finished. He's going to be jacked up over the green 6. We know how difficult this type of shot is, because Filler missed one of these shots in the opening rack of the evening.
Yeah, and it's all about how he hit the pocket there. He caught the 3 a little heavy, cost him a good foot of cue ball travel. At that speed that was in.
What do you put this down to, JJ? Everything's gone Albin's way. He's had the chances. He's had the chances off the break. His opponents missed that 8 ball where he's got back to the table and, you know, nicked another rack. He's on the hill. It was 8-1. Where has this come from?
Yeah, I was just telling you how difficult a shot it was. Is that going to be enough? It is. Tell you though, Albin, Max can put a rack or 2 together and Albin make another mistake. You know, it could get a little mental on Albin's side, because all the pressure's on him from here. Don't think there's a problem with the 8 and 9. Maybe has to bump the 9 a little bit when playing the black 8. We'll see. Probably got a little more angle here on the green 6 than he wanted.
Can he pull the cue ball back, or does he have to bump the 9, as you said, Jeremy?
Yeah, I think he's got to pump it a little bit. Should just flick it and they both fall on the side rail. I wouldn't draw it back myself past the 9, I don't think. Not if you have to rub the 9. Like that. This didn't get easy either. I don't know about the side spin he played there. I wouldn't have wanted to hit the 8 more thick that way. I would have rather played it a little more natural.
Extension
Hindsight's 20/20.
Well, it's the 9 ball up the long rail to stay in the tournament. And it's there. He's still alive, JJ. I'm going to see one
Max
of
Lechner
the
wins the
greatest,
round.
if not the greatest, comeback in Masters history, because Max Lechner, well, he's still in the arena and he's still battling. And in this winner breaks format, if you can put a 3 or a 4 pack together, he's breaking okay.
No, absolutely. That 9 ball's got to do a lot for his confidence. The break hasn't been bad, that's for sure. He did have one scratch, but that's always a possibility with our new break rule, the cut break. What's the previous biggest comeback? You against Suke, as we saw earlier?
Yeah, I couldn't really tell you, to be honest.
6 games, though. That's got to be something, right?
Yeah, probably. I'm sure there's something else as well. Yeah, this was the miss, but it was the positional shot. It was a tricky layout that Albin was faced with. He actually played a pretty good shot to get the cue ball there from the previous, but that's a shot that all professional pool players hate. Jacked up, striking down on the cue ball.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, you miss it both ways, but the one when you miss it thick, a lot of times it feels like it's a little bit of a kick on contact. But very difficult shot regardless. We've seen it. The players are 0 for 2 with that kind of shot tonight. Feel they're missing the first.
The big thing for me here for the man on your screens is forget about the scoreline. I know that's easier said than done, but forget about it being 8-3 and you've got to win 6 racks. I think he should try and tell himself, well, hold on a minute. If I can win 3 racks and get it
Rack
back to
12,
8-6.
Max Lechner to break, trailing by 8 racks to 3.
I always feel like now I've done a lot of commentary and watched a lot of pool, Jeremy, that 8-6, it feels a bit like a hill match the more I've watched, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, you got to feel like, looky here, a triple combination on the 2, 8, 9. You can see it, the black 8 and the bumblebee 9 ball. But Albin got a few breaks where he was right next to the object ball. So if that, gets returned in Max's favor, you could see a pretty close score here soon.
Yeah, when Max missed that 8 ball, I mean, look at that. This is wired. I'm not really sure what he come round to look at, JJ, to be honest.
Yeah, the only way he could miss this is with way too much speed, I think. Maybe a miss hit on the 8, but very difficult to miss this ball.
Well, I was about to see something special. Max Lechner was 8-1 down. It's now 8-4. And it's 8-4 because this was a table layout off the break. An easy rack. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back in a moment to see the conclusion of this match. Well, if you disappeared and you've just come back thinking Albin Ouschan has had an easy win,
Max Lechner
you
to
would be
break,
wrong.
trailing by 8 racks to 4.
Because Lechner has won the last 3. And he's breaking in rack 13. going to be a dry break. He needs some help.
Yeah, we're going to see Albin attack here on a cross-side bank. I think you have to, with the blue 2 near. 3-4 a little tricky. You can see the red 3 and the pink 4 a little group near that one ball. May be able to cut this in the side actually and kind of go into the 3 maybe. Looks a little off angle for both the cut shot and the bank on the 1. Such a smart player. You know what he's looking at now? He's looking to cut the 1, the yellow 1 in the side and go into the 3 and the 4. Kind of edge the 3 and catch the pink 4 as well. So he can shoot the 1 with a little more speed maybe. Maybe that's the thought.
Just grazed the 3, didn't he? Needed a fuller hit. What a crazy game Nineball can be, JJ.
Extension call.
Who'd have thought we'd be in this position?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, talked about it to open the show. The unexpected is what you expect. And tell you what, I like the kick he was looking at. He had to put a little spin on it, but with all the traffic down here with the black 8, the 3 and the pink 4, the 9s there, love to kick to this top cushion and bring the cue ball down at the 2. Requires a little right spin, but wants to catch 2 rails here, huh? To come across towards the pink 4 with the cue ball. Hit it head on. What a shot. That was by design, either trying to use the red 3 or the green 6 to get the snooker.
Yeah, it was an Albin Ouschan special, this one. Just wants to catch the rail. Kind of where his piece of chalk is.
Yeah, he's kind of contorted, leaning over the table, trying to get his line right, just because kind of out of position with the body. Can he get a lot of speed on this, though? Don't know if he can.
What a shot that was. The players, you know, them type of shots, JJ, you know, you fancy hitting the 2 ball full, don't you?
Yeah, and I'll tell you, you got to be impressed that, like, he played that with that speed. That way, if he comes across it thick, he kind of knocks the 2 up the table. When you're down quite a few games, it's easy to kind of play a shot, you know, not in the professional manner, maybe. What a hit here. So confidence of brewing for Mad Max. It's always so delicate, our sport. Knowing in this position, any mishit of the cue ball, just lack of concentration. You miss 1 ball and you're out of the event. Drew kind of got near the cushion here, so this is going to be an important shot. Speed control, and he's kind of going a little bit towards the 8 and 9. Can he go with more speed and avoid the 8 and 9, 2 cushions?
He's underhit that by a long way.
Yeah, it's easy to start to worry about what could happen instead of worrying about what needs to be done. We're here to talk about it, but as a player, it's hard to keep out of your mind as well. He's going after this bank cross side.
And he's made it. He has made the bank. Jeremy, you said 8-5. We have a game on. The score is now Albin Ouschan 8, Mad Max 5. He's won the last 4 racks.
Yeah, we talked about Albin's results on the break, but you got to say Max has maybe hit the break a little bit better overall. So Albin knows this is still a contest, that's for sure.
Yeah, when Max missed the 8 ball, where it went 8-1, we'll get back to that in a moment. This was the 2 ball. He'd have fancied hitting it full. And purely the speed is what helped the 2 ball disappear.
Yeah, and we're going to get a look at sweet cross-side bank on the 7. Really perfect speed, confident stroke. After kind of making a pretty big mistake on the 6, with lack of position on that brown 7, but recovered nicely. I'll tell you, after kicking in that 2 ball, just like coming with that 7, easy to miss that long 3 ball as well, because, you know, your motions are going, hey, you got a chance, you just kicked the ball in, and I like what he did on both, taking a hair more time and buried him.
Yeah, Albin's had a chance to win the match when he missed that 7 ball. Yet to see a golden break. I know Max had the break where the easy combination was set up, but all the same, JJ, we're due one. We're due a golden.
Back 14, Max Lechner to break, trailing by 8 racks to 5.
Yeah, it's been scrappy wins to get a few of these racks back, or odd wins maybe. The triple combination, a few safeties, the kick in. Now he could handle a couple breaking runs.
Can he see the potting angle of the blue 2?
That's awfully close. I tell you, he may elect to jump at it, even if he can. I think maybe he's just got a little edge of the purple 5 in the way. He looks like he's pretty confident.
Yeah, Max likes to hit the ball a little firmer than Albin Ouschan on these type of shots. When you're hitting the ball a little firmer, it means it's got to go in the middle of the pocket.
Or if you look at the 80 missed, right? You know, certain types of techniques or how you like to hit the ball. A lot of players, the way they stroke the ball, that 8 would have probably fallen, where Max likes to put a little more oomph on certain shots. I think he played a nice one there with some subtle spin that we didn't recognize on the 2. Just a little kill stroke here. Does he go forward using the rail?
Deadly silent in the arena now. Everyone's just started to get a feel of what might happen here now.
Wants to be able to lean over and reach this. Maybe the cue ball got a couple extra inches, but shouldn't be a problem.
Well, he wanted to be a little higher than this one, Jeremy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he wanted to maintain the angle, of course, didn't want to get flat, but he was never going to rest on the rail with the angle on the brown 7, so just got to knock in a nice one. Let the cue ball flirt with that corner.
Job done. Well, Jeremy Jones said game on if it was 8-5. I said game on if it was 8-6. And it is game on. 8-6. Jeremy, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you, again, the break looks like it's getting stronger.
He was 8-1 down, and he had a lot of zeros on the stat board. Not so many zeros now. Well, to be fair, average balls on the break, that says a 0, but I think that's wrong. He's potted balls on the break, so he's got rid of the zeros as Mad Max. But the biggest number there is the one at the top. It's 8-6. That's all that matters. Yeah, once upon a time, it was 60 balls to Ouschan, 2 to Lechner. So he's closing the gap in every single department. But the biggest thing, Jeremy, as you know, you'll have played matches where, you know, you've not got to the start you wanted and you've come back, you've applied the pressure. We know as former professionals, Albin's done this before. We've all had these matches where we've come back. Albin Ouschan, he's in a bad spot in that chair, isn't he? Because he's now thinking this could be history for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's trying to keep his concentration. Of course, that mental game he's worked on so hard. It's easy to let things go, especially when the fuse can be a little short at times, and we definitely know that with Albin. But I think he's trying to stay patient. It's the pressure of the Whirlpool Masters as well. You're going to play a lot of odd matches.
Rack 15, Max Lechner to break, trailing 8 racks to 6.
5 racks on the spin as he gets this rack underway. There's the 1 ball. Where's the cue ball? Sorry, Jeremy.
No, I was going to get towards the side. What's the 8 going to do? It's going to be an easy safety behind the red 3, I believe, playing off the blue 2. But I don't know if you could tell the fans, though. The applause prior to this break, I think they're kind of willing Max to get to this hill.
Yeah, there's still a few people here. There was more for the Phil Kaci game. Maybe they've decided to stay in the bar area, but you know, it's Thursday evening here. We know there's more tickets sold come the weekend. This is what we're trying to do here on the World Nineball Tour. We're trying to grow the sport, and these are the matches that can happen in Nineball. It can just flick like this. He needs to get the cue ball tight on this red 3, which he has done.
Yeah, I don't think the black 8's an interfering ball, but the 6, if he happened to come behind the 2, could cut off some pass. This is where he'll kick across with a light speed, trying to use the 6 ball. When you can only go at a portion at the 2 anyways, why not play it a little lighter, try to be a little more accurate?
Yeah, to the complete novice, Jeremy, why wouldn't he hit this hard? I know what you're saying, he's going to play it a bit slower, but what's the benefit?
Well, he's trying to use it. Oh, he did play it hard, which was surprising, but I think he played 2 rails behind it on purpose. But normally when you're going at a portion of the ball, you know, if the ball's open, you have the width of the cue ball on both sides to barely clip it, plus the entire ball. But right there, with only a portion, we thought he was going directly at the 2. It makes sense to go lighter so you can stay a little more accurate. But I think he intentionally went 2 rails. And I don't know if Max has a potting angle here on the 2.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Extension called.
If he doesn't, what's his options? Get the 2 on the top rail?
Yeah, and just try and go between the 8-6. Hopefully you hit a gap to continue the cue ball. I think if you try and entertain adding spin to go around the 6 or something like that, I think you may lose the 2.
He's jacked up.
Oh, he can make it. Think he fooled himself there? Well, he's gotten a roll. He's fluked in the brown 7. He's going to get a shot on the blue 2 as well.
Well, this is unbelievable. Cast your minds back probably about 45 minutes, Jeremy. You called it. Albin fluked the 1 ball. This is the fluke from Max on the 7. Nothing you can do about it. Remember about 45 minutes ago when Albin fluked the 1, the kick shot, and he looked over and gave him a little smile, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did. It was all smiles for Albin Ouschan about that time, and you said just some half hour ago or so, things have started to change. Now, this is an awkward one, a little off angle. This is where the pocket could shrink on you a little bit, drawing the cue ball.
It was very jabby. That's the problem. On these cloths with these balls, you've got to trust a slower delivery.
Well, that's the technique that I thought, you know, Max was trying to get away from a little bit, make it a little sweeter, as they say, but not the stroke he wanted. Didn't realize, was the clock kind of coming down on him? Because he kind of pulled the trigger quickly. Sorry, Carl.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Just a little bit. I just thought we were in the makings of something spectacular here, and he's kind of thrown it back, and he's give Albin Ouschan a chance. He's still got to play a good shot here. He's got to get on the pink 4.
I'm going to play for the corner here on the pink 4. Just get what I can quickly. He's going to get over the 6 maybe. He's got to make a nasty one. But watch the difference in the technique as far as if he misses the pocket a little bit. He's got to put some speed on this as well. The pocket opens up. The stroke's a little better.
Yeah, that's what Jeremy was talking about. A lot of players may have been tempted into playing that shot a little harder. Albin used all his experience. He knew he was under pressure. He may not put it clean into the pocket. That's why he played it softer. That's why he's left himself this cut on the purple 5. It was a match what started out with Albin Ouschan smiling a lot and looking very calm and relaxed. That has changed. The scoreline has made that change. But this would stand him in good stead moving forward, won't it, Jeremy? To come through a match like this really sets up your tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, don't get us wrong. He was up 8-1 and didn't make a ton of mistakes by any means to surrender 5 on the spin, but he's played a beautiful match, so he can definitely lean on this.
Well, relieved Albin Ouschan. You could see he looked up into the gods because he was 8-1 up in this match. In the end, he will be delighted as he gives us a fist pump to close the match out. He beats his good friend 9 racks to 6. Coming up next, it's going to be Shaw versus Yap.